The evidence clearly indicates you're involved in this. No, it does. It doesn't. I'm telling you that there is no way that a bullet from my gun was used in these murders. And I'm telling you that we had this round on February 14, 2017, and it's been secured in a laboratory, and we've tested other guns. You could have taken it from somewhere else then, because it's not possible. I didn't take it from somewhere else. It was logged, it was taken, it was photographed. You think we took a round and threw it down by a dead girl's foot? This ain't TV, this is realistic. I'm telling you, I can't explain something that, and I'm telling you that analysts explain it. You can't get past this. I'm not on video, neither am I. 4 or 5 witnesses didn't see me out there. Me either. My round out of my gun wasn't 6 inches away from a dead girl. Mine neither. I don't think you're a bad person. What kind of a good person kills 2 people? Nick McClellan will probably say that's a confession. You're going to drag your wife and your daughter through this because you're too bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit you made a mistake. And whatever the happened out there, you'll never know because you're too big of a inaudible. You're going to pay for what you done to my wife. You want to with me, but leave my wife out of this. Leave me out of this. No, you're involved in this. Your round is there, Rick. No, it's not. You're guilty of something. You're guilty, and I know it, and I'm going to prove it. Hi folks, Richard Allen's defence team has filed a motion to suppress his second interrogation, and there are some shocking but not surprising details. It is also the first time really that we've heard from Richard Allen in his own words. There's a lot of quotes in there. And this video is going to go over everything in the motion. We'll cover the motion, interrogation 1, what happened in between, interrogation 2, and Richard Allen's arrest. So the motion to suppress his second statement. So what is the motion? They want all statements from his October 26, 2022 interrogation at the hands of law enforcement Jerry Holman, who failed to read Rick Allen Miranda rights, while yelling and swearing at Rick Allen, lying to Rick Allen, and attempting to intimidate Rick Allen behind closed doors in a tiny interrogation room at the Lafayette Police Post. Additionally, a key portion of the videotaped interrogation provided to the defence is missing. This missing portion of the video is the beginning of the interrogation when Miranda should have been read. When was this video handed over to the defence? In February 2024. 16 months it took him to hand over this video. For context around what happened, we need to look at his first interrogation. That was on October 13th, 2022. So 13 days before the second one. His defence does not and can't really get this first interrogation suppressed. This was conducted by Tony Liggett and Steve Mullen. In this interrogation, he was read his Miranda rights and he also signed a waiver. Law enforcement officials requested Rick Allen to appear at the Delphi police station to answer questions on October 13th, 2022. Allen voluntarily went to the station and sat down with police, thinking he was assisting them in solving the Delphi murders, since he had been on the trails earlier that day that the victims disappeared. Rick wanted to help out in any way he could, and that is clear in the video. The video was previously provided to the court on September 18th, 2023. The October 26th, 2017 interview is being sent to the court overnight via certified mail for the court's review. This is an error. There was no interview in 2017, it was 2022. Rick was read his Miranda rights and signed an advisement of rights form, which is normal protocol for law enforcement before an interrogation begins. For the first roughly 3/4 of an interview, it is apparent from the interview Rick believed he was assisting the police in their investigation and search for those who murdered the victims in the Delphi case. However, when Liggett and Mullen amped up the intensity of their questioning, even positioning their bodies closer to Rick, Rick said the following: "It's over, I'm perfectly fine, I was cooperating, I was going to give you my phone, and then, when you started reading all those documents, that's at the, here's my thing is, I feel like you guys think I done this, so I'm done. You do what you need to do, it's your job, I understand that, but you better leave my reputation out of it. So you do what you need to do, and then, like I said, when you do find this guy, I'll expect the apology." Rick then described how the police were trying to ruin his reputation by accusing him of the murders in public, even groping him as they patted him down on the street. Rick was expressing that the mere act of mentioning his name as the possible killer or patting him down on a public street as if he were a criminal would ruin his reputation and was greatly upsetting. Liggett and Mullen did read Rick Allen his Miranda rights before they began their interrogation, and additionally, Rick Allen was aware that he had the freedom of movement as he, Rick, ultimately stood up and walked out of the interrogation room. However, at the end of the interview that turned into an aggressive interrogation, Rick made it clear that he no longer wanted to talk to law enforcement. Within hours of the first interrogation, Liggett drafted an affidavit for search warrant. Judge Diener then signed the warrant to search Rick Allen's home and vehicle. On that day, Rick Allen's vehicle was also seized. And that's important because that's how they got him in for the second interrogation. What happened in between? Kathy Allen, Rick's wife, and Rick Allen asked the police when they could pick up their vehicle that had been seized. They were told that they could pick it up in a couple of days. After a few phone calls with the state police, finally on October 26th, Rick and Kathy were scheduled to arrive at the state police post in West Lafayette at 9 a.m. to pick up their vehicle. On October 26, 2022, Rick Allen drove with Kathy to the West Lafayette police post to retrieve their vehicle that had been seized 13 days earlier by law enforcement. So Rick and Kathy thought they were going to pick up the car. State police had told Rick and Kathy that upon arrival their car would be released, but never mentioned anything about additional questioning. When Rick and Kathy arrived at the station, Holman met them at the front and said he just had a few things he wanted to clear up before he released the vehicle. Holman requested Rick to follow him to the interrogation room without Kathy. Rick complied. Kathy was not allowed to participate in the questioning. She was told she could wait in the lobby. And then Rick arrived with Holman into the interview room. That's how they got him in there. He did not know he was going for an interrogation. Rick and Kathy did not know on that drive to the police station how their lives would change forever in a couple of hours. It was a complete bait and switch. Rick Allen was never walking out of that police post. He was going to get arrested, but he didn't know that. For unknown reasons, the video provided to the defence is missing the beginning portion of the interview when procedural matters are typically handled by law enforcement, such as reading of Miranda, advisement of rights, and confirming with the suspect that he is free to leave, if in fact the suspect is free to leave. In this case, either A, the camera was only turned on after they, Holman and Rick, were already minutes into the interview, because the video provided to the defence does not show Holman and Rick entering the room, sitting down and beginning the interrogation. Or B, the camera was recording the entire time, but the beginning of the interview was later edited out before being turned over to the defence in February of 2024. Either way, the beginning of the interaction between Holman and Rick in the interrogation room, when the introductions are typically made and Miranda rights are always reviewed, is missing. In the 70 plus years of experience between co-counsels, this is highly unusual, especially on a high profile case of this nature. The defence has not been provided with any report explaining the missing part of the video. To make matters more suspicious, Holman claims in his November 1st, 2022 report, memorialising his October 26th interrogation of Rick Allen, the following. I asked Mr. Allen if he remembered the other detectives reading him his Miranda rights, and he said yes. I told him he was free to go at any time and the door was unlocked. Holman's report doesn't identify who the other investigators are that purportedly reviewed Miranda with Rick. Holman's report doesn't detail when, where or how Holman's words quoted appear nowhere on video. In other words, Holman is not shown asking Rick about his rights, nor is Holman viewed telling Rick Allen that he is free to leave. In his report, Holman indicates that these words were stated to Rick Allen at the very beginning of the interview. The beginning of the interview is missing. The defence has diligently searched through the discovery For any Miranda waiver of rights form signed by Rick Allen on October 26, 2022, the defence has found none. The defence has diligently searched through the discovery for any reports by state troopers who were on duty that day, such as Jay Harper or David Vito, and would have potentially read Rick his Miranda rights on October 26, 2022. The defence has found no such reports. Just as Brad Holder's February 17, 2017 interview is missing, just as the mimicked crime scene found on Holder's social media page is missing and still has not been turned over to the defence, but the defence has thankfully located it in Georgia, and just as Rick Allen's original taped statement to Dan Doolin in front of a grocery store in February 2017 is missing, the beginning portion of Holman's interview with Rick Allen is also missing. The defence has diligently searched through the discovery for audio or video by any law enforcement from October 26, 2022, in which it can be seen or heard that Rick Allen was read his Miranda rights or told he was free to leave. The defence has found none. Therefore, at this time, it appears to the defence that Jerry Holman's claims in his report that Rick Allen was asked about his Miranda rights and told he was free to leave are false, and that key video evidence that would prove as much is missing. The following are true and accurate depictions of what occurred at Allen's October 26, 2022 interrogation, as shown on the videotape of said interrogation that was not missing or deleted, but actually provided to the defence. On video, Holman never read Rick Allen his Miranda rights, nor mentioned them to Rick Allen. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room without windows. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room and Holman shut the door. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room with Jerry Holman while the door was shut. A considerable size difference existed between Rick Allen and Jerry Holman. A power differential existed as Holman was a state trooper in his home court, Lafayette Police Post, while Rick Allen was a CVS worker from Delphi who had only driven to West Lafayette to pick up a vehicle he and his wife needed for transportation. Rick Allen was never told he was being videotaped. When Jerry Holman would leave the room, he told Rick Allen to sit tight at 9:25 and 42:20 marks, or hang on 1 second at 16:40 mark. In other words, Jerry Holman told Rick Allen that he could not leave. When Jerry Holman would leave the room and tell Rick Allen to sit tight, he would shut the door. Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen during the interrogation several times, including the following. At the 7:10 mark, Jerry Holman told Rick Allen that, "We have experts to say that it's you on the bridge and that it's your voice on video. There's no evidence that supports this statement." Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen. At the 15:25 mark, Holman told Rick Allen, "Experts are saying that it's you on video, and experts are saying you said down the hill. There is no evidence that supports this statement." Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen. At the 15:07 mark, Holman tells Rick that witnesses saw a gun in his pocket. There is no evidence that anyone claims to have seen a gun in Rick's pocket. Holman lied to Rick Allen. At the 39:05 mark, Holman states, "I'm not lying to you about anything. Everything I'm telling you is fact. These experts say you said go down the hill." Holman was lying to Rick Allen about many things, and not everything Holman told Rick was a fact. At the 42:33 mark, Holman said, "I'm not lying to you, Rick. That's unethical." Holman was lying to Rick. Jerry Holman told Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview, the prosecutor and the other investigators, they want to see you, lock you up and throw away the key. Jerry Holman barked at Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview, "If you don't tell me, you're going down for this." Jerry Holman told Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview, "Do you realise the death penalty is on the table for this?" At various times, Jerry Holman yelled at Rick Allen, including using profanity-laced language while accusing Rick Allen of the murders. Rick Allen asked Holman to stop the interview. Rick said, "I'm done," early into the interrogation at the 12:05 mark, but Holman continued his interrogation. The state police never turned over the vehicle to Caddy Allen after Rick Allen was arrested. Returning the vehicle to Rick and Caddy was merely a subterfuge to get Rick to the police post to be interrogated. And that's it. That's the motion. Nick McClelland's next few court filings will be very, very interesting. Just a quick few thoughts. In my opinion, I believe some people are making light of this, and I think it's very serious, and I think it is something that Judge Francis Gull could side with the defence on, if what they said is true. Is that a silly thing to say about Francis Gull? Maybe, but I believe if what they say is true, she has to suppress this second interrogation. Judges do not take this stuff lightly, people who aren't read their Miranda rights, and it seems like Rick Allen wasn't. And also, just on Jerry Holman, because I don't want to be afraid of my own opinion. In my opinion, even before this came out, he's a maggot. He's a disgrace to his profession. He went to Robert Kyle Forson's house about the crime scene photographs. 6 times Robert asked him to stop. 6 times he asked for an attorney. And Holman was in and out of the room, threatening him, pretending to call Judge Gull and saying that he's screwed basically, and he's going to get him arrested and mortified and shamed. By the way, Robert did nothing illegal there. There was never going to be any charges brought against him because he didn't break any law. Robert was in the Air Force for over 20 years. Not an easy man to rattle, I would think. But Holman did it. And Robert is a far cry from someone like Rick Allen. Go ask Robert's family and friends about Jerry Holman. Ask them why they think Robert shot himself in the head and who they blame. That's all I'll say. Let me know your thoughts. Good luck. God bless. I hope everyone has a nice day.